Tony wins 16-15.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
And welcome in, everybody. And it is great to be with you, kicking off a new week here. Monday on Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello and Matt Skraby in the Odyssey Palace Studios. Our friends, of course, Studios. Yes, of course, Bill House Studios, where we know how. And Tony Gwynn Jr. in the normally suffocating world that is St. Louis, Missouri, where the Padres start a 3-game series against the Cardinals. Middle of summer, St. Louis, oppressive heat, humidity, miserable. Yeah, we talked to Tony before the show. And frankly, it sounds like, Skraby, you and I, our studio is less comfortable than where Tony is today. How are you?
I'm well. It is San Diego-esque here.
That's crazy.
In St. Louis. I mean, everybody's in a jovial mood. No one looks like they're dying because it's so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, they just watered the field like 10 seconds ago. It's not close to drying. It's still very much wet.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is quite the feel and sight here in St. Louis.
You're talking about a place where, of course, they used to have way back when that artificial turf at Busch Stadium.
Awful.
And guys
that had to have been terrible.
Ask Tony's dad. They used to burn through the bottom of their shoes.
That's crazy.
That's how hot it was in the summer in St. Louis.
You know, they're having movies and then they'll be showing like the asphalt and you'll see like the heat wave.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you used to see on the turf from the bench. Like I'd look out at my dad standing in right field and you just see like a wave of heat on the ground. And they'd come in and there'd be these buckets of ice and ice water and they stick their feet in these buckets, try to cool themselves off.
Just to survive.
The ice would be melted by the time one shoe hit the ice because it was so hot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But today we got very, very lucky so far.
Very pleasant.
Even in Baltimore, where it was hot one day, but it was cooler the second day. It was a day game with some cloud coverage the last day. So we've been very, very lucky so far.
So far, so good on this road trip, and so far, so good in terms of the results. The Padres get the win yesterday in Balmer, as they call it. And Balmer. They don't call it Baltimore. They don't recognize.
Is that how a drunk person says it?
No, that is what people from Balmer call it. Stop
Balmer,
it.
like Steve Ballmer?
Pretty much, yeah.
I hope Nick Danucci comes in this week because he's from Balmer.
He's from Balmer.
I'm
I'll
gonna
ask
have
him
to
about
ask
it.
him.
Ask Nick
Baltimore.
Danucci. He's certainly an excellent source on anything like this. But yeah, you get the win. You get 2 out of 3. You've won 2 straight series. And lo and behold, I didn't realize this, but the win yesterday gives the Padres, Tony, their first winning streak in 3 weeks. They had not actually won back-to-back games since the A's series, I should say, way back in May 23rd, 24. So get a little momentum going into St. Louis here. Still on top of the wild card by 1 game, although there are 5 teams right on, chasing you. So still plenty to be done. But the leader of the wild card is the Cardinals. So it's kind of a key series coming up starting tonight, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that part, but I do know that they played some pretty good baseball the last 2 days. And I don't think they played poorly the first game. I just think they were behind the 8 ball after Griffin kind of got off to a slow start there. But yeah, man, it was nice. The long ball was featured. You see a couple nice swings from Manny. I think Toddy continues to stay hot. Jackson's, I don't know what to make of Jackson right now. Sometimes it looks like he's about to kind of take off, and then it won't. And so, right now, Padres they're figuring out a way. Samad Taylor has been terrific. Given that the lineup is out, I don't know if you've seen this yet, Skrabe, but I think indeed he's not. Yes.
Well, since you mentioned it, we might as well get into it here.
He's not in the lineup today.
No.
He gets an off day. It's Toddy, Merrill, Machado, Sheets, Bogarts, Wagner, France, Song, Duran, who had a nice little day
Duran
as
had
well.
a nice day yesterday. They also don't have Jace Bowen in there. What a catch he made yesterday.
Yes.
And one of the best you've ever seen in right field. And look, you try to look at this Padre club.
Manny's DHing, by the way, and Will Wagner's playing.
All right, thank you.
No, Manny is. Oh yes, Manny is DHing.
Thank you very much, Skraby, for
Just
that.
wanted to get that in there.
You did.
Before Chris goes, well, Manny's going to be hitting and playing third today. I just want to make sure.
I just roll my eyes. You know what? I ought to honestly
for you.
I honestly ought to just put my eyes in the top of my head in a permanent position when I'm talking to you. Here's the thing the point I was trying to make is despite the fact that you're feeling a little better, right? You've won 2 straight series. You got a 2-game streak going. Look, the Padres are still last in every category in hitting, right? In runs scored and batting average, on base, slugging, OPS. They're last in everything. But here they are, right? They're 37-33, right? They've got the final wild card position. And, you know, you look at some of the injuries in the pitching staff and, you know, the troubles of Griffin Canning, we can talk about a little later maybe. But, look, they're finding ways. And I think one of the secret sauces, as you like to say, Tony, of the Padres' success this year is defense. And we don't talk enough about it, making plays, getting off the field, saving runs. Saving runs, believe it or not, is as important as scoring runs, right? When it comes to winning games. And I think, you know, yesterday we saw a lot of that really good defense. And, yeah, if you're wondering how the team keeps winning, I think that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, for sure. They played terrific defense, but let's not get it twisted. They scored 9 on Saturday. They scored 5 on Sunday. That is why they ultimately are winning. Why were they losing? The offense was atrocious. They were getting, 2, maybe 3 runs. And so, you know, I don't think and let's establish this. The offense right now, based on what they've done from the beginning of the season till now, is last. It's not one of the better offenses in all of baseball. However, you go out and you score 9 and you score 5, you're not playing at that point like a last place offense. That's going to continue to be the thing that we're watching. They can go out and play all the good defense they want. If they're giving up 3 and they're not able to score more than that, they're going to lose. And so, yes, the defense is very, very important. I think all of a sudden, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Toddy looks like a terrific second baseman, like really good. And so that opens up things for the Padres. That allows you to have Samad Taylor and Bowen, because those guys are all really outfielders, right? Samad can play the infield a little bit, but it just gives you some flexibility. And I'm paying more attention to if the offense can continue to find ways to generate runs and pressure, because that's what they did the last 2 days. Again, I think they did it the first day as well, but when you give up 3 in the first, you give up 3 in the second, all of a sudden that's 6 runs in 2 innings that you're having to climb from. It just makes it more difficult.
Well, just to and you're not wrong, obviously, but just to kind of back up what I said about the defense, though, we've played 70 games now this season. The Padres have only allowed 12 unearned runs the whole season. So, again, they're not helping the other team. And when your offense is what it is, keeping the other team from scoring more than they should is a big deal. And hopefully they can keep that going. Now, a little different tonight. You mentioned the lineup, but Wandy Peralta is going to be the starter tonight.
Yeah.
The Padres are going to go with an opener, try to get Lucas Giolito a little different feel. Again, I've never totally understood the whole opener thing, but it does seem to help from time to time, however it helps. So, we'll see. I think the key to it all is Wandy has to get through the first inning, right? And then not put Giolito at a disadvantage. But hopefully that'll be something, another strategy that'll pay off, Tony.
It's funny. I looking back on it, I think I was walking by the office when this was being discussed. I saw Lucas in there, and then, this was a weird time for him just to be kicking it in Craig's office. And so, I get it. He struggled, these last couple starts. And, I think we've seen that work for some other guys.
Matt Waldron, I think it was
Waldron.
especially good. So, the other thing about starting Wandy is if you look at the Cardinal lineup.
Real quick, I'm going to break this news real quick. Bryce Johnson cleared waivers. He's been outrighted to El Paso.
All
Still
right.
in the organization. All right.
Kyle
Means we still
Hart.
could see him.
Kyle Hart up from AAA. He is replacing Mason Miller, who is on bereavement family medical leave list. So
that's unfortunate.
That is sad for
For
the
Mason
bereavement,
Miller, yes.
more than anything. But especially, we'll see what they have to do in the closing situation. But that is important. But just to finish up on Wandy Peralta starting, here's the other thing that I think goes into this. Two of the three first hitters in the Cardinal lineup are good lefties. One is Weatherholt, and then third is Burleson. I think Burleson homered in just about every game he played last week. So he's been swinging a hot bat. So this allows you to have a lefty face those guys the first time through. Hopefully it'll pay off for the Padres, with Peralta starting tonight.
I know we got to move on quickly, but what about the ejection of Ron Marinaccio and Craig Stammen?
Ron Marinaccio was just totally ill-behaved. No, I mean, yes, it was.
But this is what I don't get is that I don't believe that the Orioles. I don't believe that the Orioles were throwing at the Padres on purpose.
But they should have been warned, should they not have, Tony? The Orioles?
Doesn't matter. I'll give you exactly how it went down.
Okay.
And you guys go back and look at this game if you want.
I'll take your word for it.
When you are any pitcher, right? You can't consistently on 0-0 buzz towers, purposeful or accidental. And as my man was trying to get his command down early, that's exactly what he was doing. A lot of 0-0 pitches up and in, and then eventually he ends up hitting bogey. And so, at that point, it doesn't even matter if it's on purpose because I don't think anybody thinks it's on purpose. But you're in the big leagues, bro. You got to be able to command that, especially throwing that hard. And so, that is how you retaliate or how you respond is exactly how they did. It was really a master class hit. They end up hitting Henderson right in the side there. And as mad as he is, he knows why it happened. You know what I'm saying? And
the manager after the game kind of said it too.
And so good on them. And I know the folks in Baltimore were not happy because I saw a lot of the comments from the Oriole fans. They did not like him not taking up. But the truth is the truth. And I think the fact that he's teaching him that hey man, your actions, your lack of command got our best guy plunked.
That's right.
And thankfully they did it the right way, and it wasn't anything that could get him seriously hurt. And so I just think, I think that's how it went down.
And I appreciate Stammen going out and sticking up for his team, even though he knew he was going to get thrown out there.
Here's the thing though, how if you I don't know this for sure, but based on what I saw, I'm almost positive Stam asked him to throw him out because
it didn't look like the guy wanted to give him the satisfaction.
Wasn't going to. He was literally out there for I know far longer than anybody else is allowed, and it seemed like once Craig asked him to throw him out, and he said, "You want me to throw you out?" And then he threw him out, and then they were like. You could see the smiles on both of their faces as he's trying to cover up his mouth.
That was funny.
I just think that I think that is exactly how it's supposed to.
And I want to say that is the first ever official John Boy baseball manager ejection, in which Stammen went out there covering his mouth precisely so John Boy couldn't break down everything he was saying.
By the way,
right?
he already released a video saying that he's working on it right now. So
he's trying to overcome that. Yeah. Well,
the new thing is to try to get John Boy not to be able to decode.
Stammen was very aware of that.
I love that Craig Stammen is becoming more and more like a hardened veteran or veteran manager every day.
Sure he is. Sure he is. Now let's go real quick for Saturday. What was the most surprising thing that happened Saturday in the world of sports? 1, the Padres had 5 home runs in a game. 2, the Knicks win their first NBA championship in 53 years. Or what I would say the most surprising thing that happened this weekend, the United States soccer team puts 4 big ones up on Paraguay and looks as good as any team has in the first round of the World Cup. Tony, we're getting World Cup fever. It only took one match, but everybody's
Cup fever. Here
we're
we
all
come.
running away with ourselves after that win over Paraguay Friday
Everybody
night.
is.
Right?
Everybody
Yeah.
is.
Feels good.
Yeah, we loved
It was, I think, as someone who's watched a lot of these World Cup, especially on the men's side, it just looked different than it ever has. And we've played good competition. We've played competition that we were supposed to beat. It's never, ever looked like it did on Saturday. And I
actually think it was Friday, so my bad for that, but it was Friday,
I agree that no doubt that was the most surprising thing. Padres, as bad as they struggle, they got dudes on their team that do that.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's much of a stretch. The way the Knicks have been playing, certainly that wasn't much of a stretch. But to watch the United States dominate the way they did and look like they
didn't luckily win 4-1. They dominated.
No.
Yeah.
They looked like we have all imagined them to look at some point. And I just thought that was awesome.
That was, and now it's funny, but one match now the expectations have risen.
100%.
Like we've gone from
crazy
hopefully we can win a match to I expect us to be in the finals. So we'll see if that all carries out. But great start there. And before this first segment ends, you have to talk about the Knicks. And look. We talked about Brunson. The guy had a chip on his shoulder the whole way. Yeah. He carried it. He never let it go. And he was absolutely incredible. It's one of the greatest performances I think you've ever seen from a small guard in that situation. You go back through Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, who did it differently. But there's very few small guards that have just single-handedly carried their team to a championship like that. And he certainly did that at the offensive end. More than that, though, I felt amazingly good for all the New York fans. I love the way they celebrated. I know they got a little rambunctious here and there, but for the most part, they kept it under control. And that's how it's supposed to feel when you haven't won in 53 years.
Yes.
And so even though I have no, love or support for the Knicks necessarily, it was kind of fun to watch all that.
It's hard not to have at least a rooting bone in your body that feels good watching the Knicks do that. I did feel horrible though watching Charles Oakley basically not be allowed to. All of the old Knicks are down there, and because of his issue
with James Dolan,
they basically wouldn't allow him down there with the rest of them.
Come on, man, that's petty.
Sucked.
Yeah,
that sucked to watch. But outside of that, my man Brunson, he's getting a lot of apologies. I've already seen Stephen A. apologize to him straight to his face. He deserves it, man. I mean, that performance got to consider how he's doing. He's not shooting threes from 35. He's getting to the rack in tough buckets. And I think when a guy the thing I'm excited about most is that when things like this happen, it kind of rebalances how the NBA is looking at things, right? There's been so many years now that it's about measurements, like how big, how tall, how much growth. This is a small guard that just took a Knicks team to the NBA Finals and won a championship. It's going to change how small guards are viewed moving forward, and I think that's going to be good for basketball. Yeah,
the only other guard that I can think of that could get to the rim at his size like that I've seen in the last 20 years is Derrick Rose, but he couldn't get all the way to the championship. Jalen Brunson did, and if you're going to anytime you want to think one last thing of how great that performance was, the last player to score 45 points on the road and clinch a championship was Michael Jordan. So anytime you're in that category, Jalen Brunson deserves all the props.
I think it's cool that the teammates won the national championship and the NBA Finals together.
That's super cool. That's right.
Yeah, and they were talking about Dante DiVincenzo was the odd man out because he had to get traded for where to go. Minnesota.
He would have been the fourth. Right. Yeah, he would have been the fourth Villanova
That's guy. Crazy that they all ended up in the same place.
How about that? And I will say this, after it was all over, we flitched over to CNN, and my wife was waiting for something terrible to happen in New York City, and so was CNN. Man, they had 24-hour coverage. They had everybody on the streets. And guess what? The Knicks fans were just having a ball until 3, 4 in the morning. as they should.
No, you
As
should not
they
light
should.
buses on fire. And I
right.
know that's not what you're saying.
There's always going to be the odd, ridiculous.
There's always some idiots out there for sure, and that's in every city.
It's one of the things of the human condition that I will never understand.
I won't either, but you know, when
we won a sports game, we won a sports championship. Let's burn our buses.
Well, what I enjoy more is we won a sports game, and you got old people hugging young people.
That is cool.
You got old ladies shaking hands with teenagers.
I'm with you there.
That's what sports can do, and it was fun to watch that. All right, we're underway. We got 100 minutes today till we send it back to St. Louis for the ball game. But Gwynn and Chris is underway. Happy you've joined us on 97.3 The Fan. Teams split a 4-game series here earlier, and 3-game set in St. Louis starting tonight. Wandy Peralta. Nobody I trust better with the first 3 outs of the game, huh, Skrabe?
Yeah.
Everybody
knows how I feel about Wandy Peralta.
We all love Wandy.
I think Wandy's great for the team, but not. You know what? He did well when they put him in this position last year against the Dodgers.
And he's going to get, as I said in the open, he's going to get 2 lefty hitters there, Weatherholt and Burleson. 2 of the better Cardinal hitters right at the start. So I think that goes into Craig Stammen's thinking. We also mentioned it kind of as an aside there in the open, but should mention again, Mason Miller on the bereavement list. And, Jason Adams not exactly giving me a lot of confidence at the moment. He's going through a little bit of a, spell. I'm not really loving Jason Adams as much as I used to just think automatic. Like Jason Adams came in like inning over.
Yeah.
It really hasn't been that way.
He struggled a little bit.
Motorhone pitched an inning and a third yesterday. Did they go back to him as the closer tonight if they need to? I don't know that you go Jason Adams, frankly. Just automatically. I think you're going to have to see what the circumstance is if you get in a closing situation tonight.
Yeah, let's just hope they're up by 5.
Well, we are talking about the Padres here, and they haven't really been up by 5 very often this year. But we'll have game 1 of the series, and as mentioned, Cardinals right now lead the wild card, but the race is tight in the National League. You got the Cardinals in front by a game over the Phillies, and then they're a half game ahead of the Padres. So the Padres have the final spot. But right after the Padres, Washington 1 game back, Cubs 1 back, Arizona 1.5, Miami and Pittsburgh 2. So, there's a lot. There's going to be a lot of changing in the wild card standings here over the next couple of months, but I'd rather be in the last spot than not in it. And a 2-game winning streak is something. You got to start somewhere. Look, the Padres, overall, you're talking about a team that is 8-17 or something since that Dodger win a few weeks ago. But, you got to get back on track, and hopefully they're starting to get back on track. I will say this. You can, I know everyone's looking at Manny and Fernando and Jackson, and we should be, but who had Will Wagner, Rodolfo Duran, Samad Taylor, Jace Bowen, and Nick Solak leading the club? Right? Nobody had that on the bingo card. So, it takes a village. And I think with the bringing up of Nick Solak the other day, of the 13, position players that play every day, that suit up every day, 7 of them now for the Padres began the year in the minor leagues. More than half.
That's not the plan that we thought before the year.
Not the plan, but these guys are holding their own.
I will say this about Fernando. I'm going to say he's officially back. Because in the last 30 games, he's hitting .328. I know the home runs aren't there, but he's starting to hit. He's starting to pile up the multi-hit games, starting to drive in some runs from the leadoff spot. I was having a talk with my friend over the weekend, and he thought we thought it was really funny how all spring training, Fernando was not going to be the leadoff hitter of this team, but he's been the leadoff hitter of this team.
He's not going to be the leadoff hitter because he's going to hit more than 2 home runs.
Well, that's true.
Now that he's turned into the right-handed version of Luis Arraez, with speed.
He's
become he's become the perfect leadoff hitter. He's got 17 stolen bases. All right, we got a lot to get done. We're going to get our big 5 early in the show today because we're only going to about 3:30. But little surprise for you right now. If you just happen to be tuned in, you're going to be happy to hear this because I'm going to give you all a chance right now to win a pair of tickets. These are pretty big tickets. They're in demand. A couple of tickets to see the great comedian Dave Chappelle at Viejas Arena this Sunday. Tickets are at Ticketmaster.com, or you can get a pair right now. I mentioned in the open, the Padres have only allowed 12 unearned runs this year. 12. That is second best in baseball. Which team in baseball right now has allowed the fewest unearned runs? Which means they're, in a sense, playing some of the best defense in baseball. Padres have only given up 12. This team's only given up 8 unearned runs all year. You name the team, you win the tickets to Dave Chappelle First person with the correct answer, 833-288-0973. Start dialing Big Five when we return.
Gwynn and Chris.
Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Skraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick, so goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break, and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Skraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm gonna laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Skraby, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. It's not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not gonna lie. My mouth is like getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this. Honestly, it's getting serious. I gotta go with the milk. My mouth is dying right now. Yeah, this is not fun, guys. Never gonna do that again because my mouth is on fire. Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Skraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick, so goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break, and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Skraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm gonna laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Skraby, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. It's not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not going to lie. My mouth is, like, getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this. Honestly, it's getting serious. I got to go with the milk. My mouth.
Hi, Lisa. Good guess by Lisa. Called right in. Dodgers, of all people, have given up the fewest unearned runs.
Yeah, you don't
Only
have any
8
fans
of
on
them.
the chat right now.
I don't.
No.
Because I'm asking a Dodger-centric question.
That praises them a little bit.
Whatever. Yeah, okay. All right. Lisa doesn't care because she's going to see Dave Chappelle at Viejas this Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Let's get right into our Big Five because there was a lot of stuff going on this weekend we got to cover.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
And we are broadcasting live from the Bell House Studios. Chris and I, and Tony Gwynn Jr. is broadcasting all the way from, I forgot where you were, St. Louis. Why did I just forget that?
There
We
you
literally
go.
just talked about it. Like, it's one of those days, Chris.
It happens.
Chris is
Okay, we've
giving
been
me that
talking
look.
about it all day. Like we're an hour into the show, and that's all we've talked about is that he's in St. Louis and the weather's nice, and he can't believe it, and it's not oppressive, and it's not hot, and he's not miserable. Like,
are
were
all
you
true
just not
things.
here for any of that?
No, I guess not. I guess not. Last week I thought that Fernando should have more walk-off hits on the road, Chris.
Yes, you did. So maybe you're actually getting better.
maybe
Yeah.
I concussed myself.
Your
Your
forgot about
mistakes are getting less this week.
Okay, here we go.
Number 5.
Griffin Canning made his 8th start for the Padres on Friday night, ended up giving up 7 runs, walking 5, and so far on the season, he is 0-5 with a 7.17 ERA. Well, he's walked at least 3 hitters in 4 of his 8 starts. I'm not going to ask you guys if he needs to be DFA'd because that's ridiculous to all those people saying that. But Chris, is this start concerning enough to have a conversation about changing course?
Well, yeah, I don't know that the change has to be DFA always. You know,
No,
everybody
no,
always says,
it
well,
does.
he's either starting or we're getting rid of him entirely. I think that's silly. The first thing that needs to be told to Griffin Canning, and I'm sure it has been, is stop walking the leadoff hitter. He does it almost every inning, and you're immediately in trouble. So that would be a good place to start. Whether he's starting, coming out of the bullpen, long relief, got to come out throwing strikes. But yeah, I don't think there's too many more starts you can give him. Honestly, the only difference is you don't have a lot of other options, right? Unless you can get Matt Waldron healthy, and I could hear everybody shudder when I said that because nobody seemed to like Matt Waldron when he was starting. But yeah, until Musgrove or Pivetta are ready, right? What else are you going to do? So, Griffin Canning's got to pitch better. But at the same time, you're right. I don't know how many more starts you can give him. But DFA is always ridiculous. You've got so many things you can do. Anybody can pitch out a long relief for a month and try to get right, pitch in some less stressful situations. The guy's got ability. He's shown it the last 5 or 6 years. And until he's just got to get command back. It's not that far off. It seems like it is, but to me, he's working behind, and he's working, with a runner that he puts on base every inning. And that's a recipe for bad, no matter who you are.
Tony, is this start to his season concerning enough to have a conversation about possibly changing course?
A conversation, yes, but no action. I think, he is starting the season a whole lot later than everybody else that's in the rotation, and so I think that does matter. I think the fact that you don't have other options is another factor involved in this. But certainly your antennas are up and you're prepared to pivot if need be, but I don't think the time is now.
I agree. So you guys are in the clear, okay? Just making sure that you guys know. I agree with you.
Number 4.
Chris just shaking his head like, yeah, okay, whatever, buddy.
No, I understood that. I didn't really need any more explanation.
Right.
You
said you agreed with me.
I did.
Yes,
I did.
Gotcha. Yeah. Let me make a note of that.
I don't know what is wrong with me the last week.
Where's Tony right now?
I have no idea.
All right,
Timbuktu for all I
great.
know. You may have noticed something different about how things are done at the World Cup this year. Commercials in the middle of halves, thanks to the fully responsible and not linked to selling ads hydration breaks. Coaches and players have said they actually don't like these breaks because it breaks up the flow of the game. And some are even saying this is going to extend into making the game into 4 quarters for the purpose of advertising, which just kind of is a 4-quarter thing now. The hydration break was originally put in place in 2014 because the weather was so hot where they were playing, and only games that started above a certain temperature got those breaks. However, games this weekend at Cowboy Stadium had the roof closed and were climate controlled, but the hydration break went on as planned. Tony, what do you think of the hydration break?
The hydration break is nothing new to me, and especially youth soccer, because they certainly have hydration breaks, especially when the weather is considered hot. I don't know what that number is, but it's not anything new. I don't think it should be much of a surprise that if they're implementing it in this setting, that they're going to monetize it. I mean, that's kind of like a layup, really, that they have this built in. Now, the idea, and this is where I think it's just wild. The idea now that because they have a water break, that will then turn soccer into a 4-quarter game
Sport
is laughable. And I think that's the sensationalism of social media, having its hand in this conversation right there. Because who leaps from, they're going to have a water break, and especially in places where it is extremely hot. Yeah, you mentioned Dallas, but some of the other places were indeed hot. Who then makes the leap that then means that they're going to now make this a 4-quarter event as opposed to
Tony, this is what we do now.
It's just ridiculous.
I don't disagree that it's ridiculous. Chris, what are your thoughts on the? And by the way, let me just start. I'm okay with a hydration break. I mean, I'm not going to deprive these guys of water. But Chris, what do you think?
I'll make a note of that as well.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm surprised they haven't. The doomsayers haven't. Extended this out all the way to now. Every time there's a goal kick, the goalie will have to hold on to the ball for 30 seconds while they sneak a commercial in.
They do one of those in-game ads.
Yeah, just goalie gets the ball.
Jack from Jack in the Box talking to you.
Goalie gets the ball in his hands. Goalkeeper gets the ball in his hands. Official puts his hand up for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They run an ad. Then he can bet it back and play. I get a little bit the purists of soccer, because one of the things of soccer, I believe anyway, has always been that, these guys just go and it's nonstop. It never stops. That's one of the things they'll say. Soccer is great because it never stops. Well, now it's stopping. So, I kind of get people, the longtime soccer people, but you're not going to hear me criticize taking a break for some hydration. I mean, these guys, They race up and down. What do they run, Tony? 7-9 miles a day in some of these matches, maybe more.
Yeah.
There's nothing, in the marathon, those guys run over to the side of the table and get some water. Those are, world-class marathon runners. They still get hydration. There's nothing wrong with these guys taking a little break for hydration. And, of course, they're going to put a commercial in. So, get over it. It doesn't affect me too much. As you know, guys, I DVR any sporting event, so I can just buzz right through the old hydration break anyway. So
I like it because then I can get hydrated myself.
And go run to the kitchen, grab a little something. But, this is
much ado about nothing.
I think it's mostly if they start holding up the goalie for 30 seconds to get a break in, then the soccer people and everybody can go crazy.
Just for the record, while you guys were going having your back and forth, Dave gets in my ear and says it sucks. So
I knew he wouldn't like it because he's a soccer purist.
On the other side of this.
Yes,
so
the soccer purist.
There's that.
I think more people are just upset that they're forcing another commercial down our throat.
Well, I will say this. I could be wrong.
Would you rather them just keep the camera on the field and watch them drink water? Is that what you want?
Make the announcers. You get paid enough to fill that 3 minutes.
And not make any money off. You think that's the smarter play? Why
does everything have to be a sales opportunity?
What world do you live in where everything isn't a sales opportunity?
Why does it?
There's advertising on the grass of the field. There's advertising on the ball. That
should be enough.
It's never enough.
But Powerade is the major sponsor, so I'm going to give them their due because
you know this. I will say this. Dave could probably speak to it as the soccer authority. But I believe back in the day, guys would just kind of during the run of play, you'd run over to the side and somebody'd throw you a water bottle and you'd take a quick, gulp or two and then throw it back.
Yeah.
But I don't know that meant everybody on the field could get hydrated. Maybe just a couple of players.
Yeah, it's like a pit stop.
I guess if you're positioned close to the sideline, you're gonna be the one that gets the most water.
Yeah, and if you're on the other sideline, you ask the other team, and they say absolutely not.
I am old enough to remember when my football coaches denied us water for having a bad practice.
We all remember that.
We all old enough to remember those days.
Yeah, we all remember that, and frankly, most of us survived. Yeah, so there is that argument as well.
We all survived.
We had a very scary moment at one of our practices with a larger player, and that's when the water breaks started happening on a consistent basis.
All it takes is one of those, and then it'll change
it was
everything.
Actually very scary. They had to drive the ambulance on the field and put him in the shower. It was crazy.
All right.
We've
solved the world's hydration problems.
Not really.
What's next?
Thanks to Powerade, we have.
What's next?
The Chicago Bulls are finalizing the hiring of Portland Trailblazers interim coach Tiago Splitter, which is a great name. I love that name.
Oh, man.
I don't know what that meant from Chris. He's 41. He took the Blazers he guided them to a 42-40 record and a postseason berth as the number 7 seed in the Western Conference after the whole Chauncey Billups federal charges thing. So he actually became the first Trailblazers head coach to have a winning record in his first season with the team since Mo Cheeks in 2001 and 2002. First to win a playoff game in his debut season since Mike Dunleavy. And I don't need to give you the rest of his stuff. He was a pretty good coach last year, I should say.
Seemed to have a good year.
Yes. Chris, is this a good move for your Bulls?
That's a typical move for the Bulls. They took a look at this guy and they said, 42-40. That's our high water mark. Yes, let's shoot for that.
Chris is already over this guy.
Yeah, they're going to be ecstatic. Well, they would be ecstatic if he could go 42-40 with the Bulls. There's no way of knowing. Obviously, he had a nice season last year. I think he got kind of run out of town, and people thought that wasn't, the greatest thing after some of the success he has. So, I would think he's got something to prove. But ultimately, whether the Bulls ever return to glory is going to come down to lucking out on a draft choice of the ilk of Michael Jordan. It really is crazy when you think about all of this stuff. The coaches come, the players come and go. The front office executives come and go. The teams with the great players seem to be there at the end and have been for 40 years. And until the Bulls can find themselves one or two more of those, it doesn't really matter who the coach is going to be.
I'm sorry to Mr. Splitter.
Sorry about that. Yeah, well, he might, like I said, he might be able to coax 42-40, but that's not going to get you anywhere.
Tony, what do you think of this hire?
I think it's a good hire. I think I think we're gonna end up playing DJ Khaled's "Congratulations, you played yourself" at some point soon. to the Portland owner who decided he wasn't going to give was it Tiago
Splitter?
Splitter. Wasn't going to give him a shot. And I just remind you, he took over for a Portland team that didn't have any motion outside of their head coach being indicted on gambling charges. They weren't expected to be very good in the West. Not only did he have them he got them into the playoffs.
And they beat San Antonio on the road, I believe, in one of those games. So
So I think this is a good hire for the Bulls. I think that to have a head coach that can seemingly coach and manage people under that type of distraction that he had to deal with, I think it's pretty impressive. So I'm high on Tiago Splitter.
I'm going to add one last thing for Bulls fans out there. If there are any of you out there like myself, it was Portland who passed on Michael Jordan and took Sam Bowie in the draft, gifting the Bulls Michael Jordan. So maybe Portland will gift the Bulls again.
Normally I'm like, who cares? That guy was the guy to take, but that one's pretty hard.
That one was hard to overcome.
That was a pretty hard one to overcome.
That was.
We're going to go to something very serious, and this did affect me over the weekend. Former 49er Alden Smith was found unresponsive by a friend on Saturday morning and was later pronounced dead at the hospital at the age of 36. Apparently, he was helping a friend deliver pizzas to the homeless before that. They went back to the friend's house. The friend went inside, and then when he came back outside where Alden Smith was in the car, the friend found him unresponsive, and that's when he called the police and the ambulance and all that stuff. Now, Smith definitely had struggles in his life, and substance abuse was one of those, and the cause of the death has not been released yet, but the struggles led to bad financial situation. He was living with friends and waiting for his NFL pension to kick in at 55, which is 19 years from now. So this was a long time he was going to have to wait for this. Tony, I hate to say it this way, but I think there is a discussion here. Does the NFL share any sort of blame here for post-career care of players?
I don't know. Do we know that he wasn't a part of what NFL has to offer in terms of some of his substance issues? I know at least early on he was being helped. I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know because, I think in some ways there still falls a little individual kind of responsibility in some of this. And I'm not sure whether the NFL actually was able or did what they were supposed to do on their side in terms of helping him with some of those issues. If not, the answer is yes. They certainly should be have some blame in it, but I don't know the answer to that at this point. We don't know at this point what the cause of death was, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
This could have just been a natural incident that happened.
Yeah.
And so I think we kind of hold our opinions on this to kind of wait to see how it all unfolds. And, I'm sure, the way things work now, there will be some information that comes out in terms of if the NFL was, able to aid in helping him with some of the issues that he had.
Yeah, I do know that he had just a couple weeks ago went and spoke to some of the 49ers rookies, and so he was trying to get back into
I was reading that too. It seemed like he was still involved.
Yeah.
He was still, kind of in the realm at this point, but I don't know enough yet.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think? The only reason I ask this is because a lot of players face very hard times after they retire from their NFL career.
Yeah, well, you ask a lot of really, really what I consider to be mediocre to poor questions.
I know what you're doing here.
But this is one of the best questions you've asked in a long time.
All right.
And the reason it's a great question is because what Tony said, we don't really know the answer, and we should know the answer. The answer should be that the NFL wants a guy, especially like Alden Smith, who was he was on the police blotter for drug and other kinds of situations over a dozen times.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a one-time thing with this guy.
It wasn't.
There is no way the 49er organization or any NFL organization could have seen Aldon Smith leave professional football and think, hey, this guy's going to be fine. Like they should have been hands-on, keeping an eye and seeing what they could do. And maybe, like Tony said, maybe they were, and we just don't know about it. But the image that the NFL has is born a lot in that CTE thing.
Yeah.
Like, did Junior Seau, could he have called the Chargers organization? Could he have called the NFL and said, hey, I don't know what's up, but I need some help? The image that we have is that there's nowhere for these players to really go. And, I can't blame the death of Aldon Smith on the National Football League, but feel like they got a little blood on their hands here until we find out what kind of opportunities are out there for guys that are really struggling once they leave the league. It's hard enough to go through what they go through when they're in the family of a team. But, man, you go outside that, the problems go with you.
Yeah.
I don't know that the NFL does enough, and I think it's a great question for that reason.
I'm going to actually do some research on that and find out what kind of programs that they if it's out there and available for me to find.
And you know what I would say, even if you make it available, and in a situation like Aldon Smith, somebody's got to be smart enough to reach out and kind of pull him into that.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just say, hey, it's
do that,
available,
right.
and then hope he does it. Because Aldon Smith was a clear case where he needed the assistance.
He struggled with mental health.
He did. This is really sad.
And I just want to say, like, he was a really good football player.
Yes, of course he was, and 36 years old.
But I think it's important to remember to point out though he was still trying to do good things.
Yes,
he was. It seemed like it.
Yeah, and so like. This is just sad all the way around, really.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you say he's a great football player. I would say that there are people around Aldon Smith who say he was a good son, he was a good brother.
You're right.
He was a good uncle. That's where it really hurts the heart.
Yeah.
Number 1.
So it's not easy to get into this one, but I wanted to have a little bit of a lighter story to end.
I was going to say, you're going to try to cheer us back up a little.
Well, Team Japan, their World Cup fans did something after their match over the weekend in Texas that I absolutely love. Spectators stayed behind after the 2-2 draw to make sure they left the stadium as clean as they found it and picked up all of their litter, putting it into blue plastic bags. It is a habit that first learned at a primary school. And Japan fan Aida Tanaka told the news source, we have to think about everyone. I guess Japanese people think that when you use a certain place, you have to make it look tidier when you leave than when you arrived. And I love this. So my question for you, Chris, you're up first. How do you leave your area in a stadium?
Yeah, well, first of all, you're asking the wrong guy.
Chris has got like stuff everywhere.
He's OCD. Are you kidding me? He's not gonna.
Well, first of all, you would think that I'm neat, Tony, in most situations. I have never, and I am ashamed to admit this, I have never carried an empty bag of popcorn out of a movie theater and set it in a trash receptacle.
On the ground?
I have never carried my soda out at the end of a game. I've had sunflower seeds everywhere. I certainly don't sweep them up. And first of all, I take the blame for this. This is pathetic behavior, but it is learned behavior.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess that's how stadiums used to be.
Right. This is learned behavior. I don't recall my parents ever saying, okay, the movie's over. Let's clean up your area. We just got up and walked out. And, my mom and dad, I think, are pretty, civilized people. But we just didn't do that. Look, there's a million examples of how other societies are miles ahead of ours in all kinds of things. And it's interesting you mentioned Japan. They did a whole thing on CBS Sunday Morning yesterday about how only 4% of Japanese people are obese, as opposed to 40% in the United States. And it all came down to the way they take care of their children and how they feed them when they're young in school and what they get them used to eating and how they get them used to eating. And those habits translate to when those people are older. We could learn a lot if we, took a moment to take a look at how they do things. And we can learn a lot about this, too. This is a great lesson, but I don't expect Americans to all of a sudden start cleaning up stadiums.
Neither do I.
Would you like to see the look on yours or anyone else's face when in the top of the ninth inning, the usher at Petco Park comes down the stairs with a bunch of hefty bags and passes them out and says, all right, everybody toss the trash before we go home?
It sounds ridiculous.
It sounds
but
absurd.
I do clean up after myself. Tony, how do you leave your area in a stadium or a theater?
This is a great question as well. I think, what's interesting is I had the same habits as Chris did for a very long time until I got married. My wife does not have that habit.
Good.
And I remember the first time she was like, pick your stuff up. And I was looking at her like, and it wasn't until I said it out loud that I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of wild, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
I can't believe I leave this here.
I said, somebody else will pick it up. And I was like, oh, yeah, that doesn't sound that great. And so from that point on, whatever trash I bring in, I throw it out now.
Me too.
Good for the
but
Japanese fans.
I get why it's not a custom, because Americans have never done this. And I've left things in stadiums before because that was the thing to do.
It's definitely a cultural thing. I know when we went to Korea, there wasn't even a trash can in the street. There was like nothing on the
because
ground,
you didn't need to throw anything away.
Because you weren't expected to have trash out in public like that. So it's just different for sure. But I did see that. I thought that was a cool thing they was doing right there.
Yeah, me too. On that note, we head to the end of the hour.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, this is Jason Adam from the San Diego Padres.
Strike three called. Great slider from Adam.
The Padres.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched her name in the account system, and
Skraby, what is wrong with you?
I was like 19.
You'd be better
it
off.
was
You would be
cool.
better. You'd be better off admitting that you wore your underwear inside out. Frankly,
This guy is just searching up people's accounts.
it only happened that one time because I got caught.
oh,
How did
my
you get caught?
goodness.
The account was flagged, and anybody taking a look at it gets logged. And so I got called into the boss's office like 3 days
What
later.
did that come? I'm sorry, I gotta ask. But nobody's supposed to be doing this preview. What did that conversation? How did it go?
Well,
Why were you looking up Paris Hilton? Is that who it was?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my!
I can neither confirm. That's really funny, Chris, that you just yelled out that name out of all names.
No.
But I walked in. I got called into the office, and I sat
Oh my
down.
gosh.
And all my boss, I loved her. She was great. Her name was Sharon. Amazing boss. She just slid the piece of paper in front of me.
You knew.
Said, "Did you visit this account?" And I looked. Yeah. She was like, "We're gonna have to write you up for this, and if you do it again, we're gonna have to fire you." And I said, "I'll never do it again." And I got out of there as soon as possible. I took everything, but it was not good. Not good.
Just curiosity, huh? He's like, I wonder how much they have in their account.
Yeah. I mean, before I got caught, I did look up athletes. And,
Oh my God! I'm so glad you're sitting in this seat now.
Yes, I'm so happy you're not doing any job that can be dangerous to people's futures.
this was in the first year that I was there. I learned my lesson
I,
thoroughly.
Chris, as I said, as soon as they walked in, they was like,
Yeah,
that's
that
our
window.
guy right there.
That's our window.
We're gonna take him down.
Yep.
Just lucky I didn't get caught for like. I can't even say. I'll tell you guys off break whose account I saw and how much money they had sitting in their checking account.
And this was how long ago, too, by the way?
Ooh, 2009, 10. Way before I became a good person.
Didn't Bank America end up getting in trouble, or was that it was one of those banks got in trouble?
all of them get in trouble for selling information, but
Hiring folks like you.
I wasn't selling any information. I was just wanting to see what was going on.
Just curious.
I didn't check their account activity, which I could have been like, oh, they bought this here. I'm going to go up there. You know, I'm not that creepy.
Well, that's stock.
Oh yeah, you're not that bad.
I'm not that creepy.
This is amazing, by the way. We're supposed to be doing.
How are we supposed to do baseball picks under
I
these
don't think we can
circumstances?
anymore. I think we gotta push it. You guys never did it? Well, I mean,
No, Skraby, we didn't. We didn't do it.
Really?
Okay.
Like you work at a bank, you're looking at people's account information? That's unbelievable.
It only happened for a little bit, and then I got in
Only
trouble.
for a little bit.
I can't stop laughing at this because it is quite hilarious. Greg.
But you were saying that I may have gotten robbed or whatever. I actually did get robbed when I worked in San Francisco, and they're called quick change artists.
How long did you work in the banking industry?
8 years. I was a teller supervisor when I finished. I was also the merchant teller, which took in around $150,000 in cash a day. Guess what? Always balanced at the end of the day.
Yeah, I bet.
But there was a guy who walked in. He had about $5,000 in hundreds, and he handed it to me. He said, "Can I get 50s for these?" And I said, it's pretty annoying that he wants
$5,000 in hundreds.
In hundreds, and he wanted $5,000 in 50s. He just wanted 50s instead of hundreds. So I had to go get it from the vault and come back. I'm starting to count it out, and then he's like starting to ask me questions as I'm counting it out.
He's trying to
what
did I tell you, Chris? This is what I'm talking
Hey,
about.
That window right there.
Hey, this guy was so good that no one saw it coming. But so when I started getting mad at him because I counted out the 50s.
Wrapping things up here from the Bill House Studios, where we know how. And send it over to is Sammy back for pregame?
Yes.
Took a few days off there.
Yeah, well,
He didn't clear it with me.
man, you didn't clear it with anyone
No.
except for our boss. That's not how you do it.
That's not what you're supposed to do around
No,
here.
you're supposed to ask all of us too.
Yeah, well, here we just take it off and ask questions and ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way we do it.
I'm too much of a rule follower
Yeah.
to do that.
Sorry, Adam. I hope it was okay that I took yesterday off.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That doesn't work. Sammy's got the pregame show. We got the game coming up in a little while here, and Wandy Peralta will be pitching the first inning tonight, at least for the Padres, as he is the opener for Lucas Giolito. And did I see who the Cardinals are pitching tonight here? The Redbirds are countering.
Is it Dustin May?
Dustin May, yeah. And Dustin is, I believe, 10 of his last 11 allowed 3 runs or fewer. So he's actually pitched well for the Cardinals this year.
Another guy who's had to relearn how to pitch because
That
of all
guy
the
that
injury.
used to cause us issues when he was a
That
Dodger.
Too. That too.
So, that game's the actual first pitch is at 4:45. Sam's pregame show at 3:45. First of a 3-game series. Today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Thursday is an off day. Friday, I'll be accompanying the team to Texas.
Yes.
Actually, I won't be accompanying them, but I will be there. If all goes well, that's the plan. Going to be in Dallas for the weekend.
Is your birthday actually?
It's next Monday.
I always forget the
My
day.
birthday, yeah, actually next Monday, but we're going to celebrate. And actually, the reason for our trip, I think I told you, maybe mentioned on the show, was we're going to solve the mystery of the JFK assassination.
Yes, we did mention that last week.
That
I'm
is the
not
plan.
sure that you're going to.
I don't think
be
we're going
able
to
to do
solve
it?
Yes, if I did, that would be a headline for sure.
Yes,
But,
just make sure you say every time you just say Gwynn and Chris somewhere in that headline.
Gwynn and Chris solve JFK.
No, you could say Chris.
assassination
Chris from Gwynn and Chris.
plot.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I wanted to get to. We'll get back to baseball and the Padres in a little bit here. But the Knicks winning the other night, the NBA title, in glorious fashion. I mean, I don't know, how history is going to categorize the Knicks like 25 years from now. We always think that when you see a team win, it's like, that was the greatest run I've ever seen. You see it, you hear it every time, right? Oh man, OKC last year, they're going to win 10 more. And it's always the greatest thing. And history doesn't always remember it that way. But I do think the Knicks are going to be remembered because the way they did it. They won 15 of their last 16 games. They won half of those games by like 30 points. Remember, they were just blowing everybody out.
Yeah.
And then the games that they didn't win by 20 or 30 points, they had these astonishing comebacks. You go to the Cleveland series, they were down 22 in the fourth quarter and won that game. And if you go to the Spurs, obviously the 29-point game will always be remembered. But I read today San Antonio was leading for 72% of that series.
Yep. They had double-digit leads in all of the games.
In every game they led by double digits. They led by 16 in the last game. And, so despite all of it.
Is it crazy that I'm sorry, I just cut you off. Is it crazy, though, that I when I saw that the Knicks were down 16, I thought, that's nothing.
Well, it felt like a here we go again.
Yeah.
You watched the game 5, it looked like game 4 and game 2 and all the rest of them. Spurs got off to that blazing start, and then it all dried up. And the Spurs, we can talk about them down the road, but it does go to show that no matter how much talent you have, and Wemby has it, and all those other guys on San Antonio, they're tremendously gifted players. But until you have to close in the most important moment, you don't have it. And they had nobody to finish those games. They had nobody to get the ball to finish those games. Nobody could make a basket. So that'll be the Spurs and what they have to work on. And, a lot of people say, well, they'll be back. They might be, but Oklahoma City's not going anywhere. So, there's no guarantee for anybody. But the Knicks winning, and I started thinking about 53 years, and I always think about us here, the pain that we've endured, right? Waiting for our teams to win a championship. And so I went through and did a little rundown, and unfortunately, San Diego is well represented in this particular in this deal.
Okay.
Do you want to get that in real quick? Do you think that's important enough?
I didn't know whether to show. Yeah, it's pretty important.
Skraby's got a quick Padre thing. Why don't you put this in, because word travels so fast that we better get it in.
Yes, Craig Stammen has been suspended for 1 game following the incident Saturday. Ron Marinaccio has been suspended for 3 games. He will appeal his 3-game suspension. Randy Knorr is going to be the manager for tonight because Craig Stammen is going to serve his suspension for this game.
I don't have time to argue this, but why? What did he get suspended for?
You can't argue that. You can't argue. You can't argue the
kicked
whole
out of the game.
No, you can't argue throwing at someone, and it is also because the manager always is punished along with the player every time.
And the Baltimore pitcher, nothing for throwing at the head and brushing another guy back and hitting 7 more guys.
No,
nothing wrong with that.
I guess they determined that it was unintentional, which I believe it was. Still at the same time,
here's the thing: baseball. I'm going to discuss it, and I'll go back to my list here on the Knicks in a minute. This is baseball's. It is really. It's a fugazi, is what it is. They give this whole thing, and the suspension goes to the Padres and Stammen and everybody when they know, and we know, and and all you fans know, what was actually happening here. The Padres were retaliating correctly. Right? They didn't throw at the guy's head. They went after his, down, kept the ball down.
Right in his hip.
But this is what baseball deems you should do, right? If you get thrown at, your only recourse is to throw at their best player.
Yeah, self-policing.
And Gunnar Henderson knew it. The Baltimore manager knew it, right? But baseball's going to say, well, we're still holier than thou. We're not going to allow that. BS, you're always going to allow it. That's part of baseball. So to me, throwing a suspension out here is silly.
This is just a blank. Like people are saying, oh, everything's against the Padres. This is just a blanket
this isn't
suspension.
the Padres. They would do this to every pitcher. Every pitcher gets a 6-game, a 4-game,
and manager.
The manager gets it. No, this isn't Stammen.
Remember Framber Valdez when he threw at Trevor Story? Guess who went? It
manager
was
and
Hinch and Valdez.
Yeah, no, they're not picking on the Padres here. This is just baseball being, backwards in this regard.
Yeah. Not even a little bit, a lot of it.
They know what's happening. We know what's happening. Let's just, call it even and move on, right? That to me is what should have happened. The umpires shouldn't even I don't even think they should have kicked Marinaccio out. He did make it pretty obvious, I hate to say, but they should have understood this was what was going on.
K-Laws has a good point. Did they actually give warnings? Because I know that
I don't think they have to anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to throw that out there. I don't think they have to. I think they can, but they don't have to.
Okay, makes sense.
So I think things have changed there. But if you're going to hit a guy in the head and you're going to throw the ball and hit inside and move everybody back for an entire game, you got to just expect that he's going to throw inside, to somebody.
Yeah.
So I don't, All right, Stammen. By the way, this is neither here nor there, but I don't really like Stammen covering the mouth thing. I didn't like that.
Why?
I think it looked uncomfortable. It looked weird. Didn't it look a little weird? You've never seen anybody do that.
I think we're just not used to Craig Stammen being an angry person.
My point is, but if you're really that angry, you just let it fly.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? You just let it fly. So I don't, the fact that he took time to cover his mouth the whole time kind of at least took a little bit away from
Maybe
his
he
argument.
didn't want his kids to see what he said.
Fair enough, Craig. All right, we got a break here. We'll check some traffic. But I got that list. The Knicks' 53 years is nothing compared to what we've waited around here. And I'll explain when we come back on Gwynn and Chris.
From the Gate 5.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello! Eric, how you doing? Pretty good. Wow.
Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over here or something.
What are you thinking to see it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place, so I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello! Eric, how you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh?
Are you a baseball player?
I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking to see it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm
that
hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm
where
going
are
to
you
go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight at the back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Toby?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good. Wow.
just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfuss and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
Yeah, a little bit is, trying to help our starters out a little bit, just get a little bit more comfortable, get into the game a little bit, take that edge off at the beginning of the game. And I think strategically, it's probably not allowing them to face the top of the lineup, right away in the game, and maybe not 3 times in the game. The other team's best hitter has to face one of our better relievers at the beginning, and we go from there. Maybe we'll get a little bit more length out of our starters and allow our offense to score some runs and get the lead, and then use our back end guys.
All right, there's Craig Stammen, who is going with the opener tonight. Wandy Peralta will start in St. Louis. Lucas Giolito will follow him to the mound. Giolito 2-1 so far, Skraby, but pretty unsightly with the 1.74 whip. He's walked 18, struck out 14. That's not a good ratio. And we'll see if he can get it going. It's interesting. Last year with Boston, he had a 2-to-1 ratio the other way. Strikeouts 120, walks 56. So, he needs to get his control. A little bit about, what we talked about Griffin Canning earlier. These guys didn't have spring training. They're kind of working through it, in game action. And we're seeing some of the results of that. But Padres will be looking for their 3rd straight win coming up in just a little bit. Couple of other quick things before I get to that waiting game. We didn't mention it, but Carolina Hurricanes, on a different level than the Knicks because it's the NHL, but a very dominant Stanley Cup run to the championship. Finished off 3-0 over Vegas last night. Carolina ended up winning the last 3 games of that series. Jordan Stahl was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner, 37 years old, one of the oldest ever to win it. I like how hockey does the MVP. It's playoff MVP, not just finals MVP. I kind of like that. Like, to me, the whole run should matter, not just the final series.
Can you win it if your team doesn't win?
I guess you could, right? If you went, yeah, right.
If you were like just an outstanding
if you scored
player
like
throughout
50,
all playoffs,
yeah,
but you
scored
had no
35
support.
goals and they end up losing in the 7th game, I guess you could win the Conn Smythe that way. But anyway, Carolina was really, really excellent. I thought Vegas gave them a hell of a run, but
they won the
2 of the first 3, and they scored a bunch of goals. I didn't think Vegas would even score that many goals. Carolina actually had to change goaltenders in the middle of the series. And the guy they brought in was lights out. So anyway, Stanley Cup champs are in the bank. I don't think the world will be, closing in on the Hurricanes victory parade later this week in Raleigh, as opposed to the ticker tape parade the Knicks will get in Manhattan on Thursday. But every time somebody wins, sorry, I kind of get a little crestfallen around here. Because we're still waiting for that parade. And, it's not really, unless the Padres are going to, make a hell of a run in October, we're still waiting and waiting and waiting. And so you start to kind of compare it. And I looked at now, here's what some of the longest streaks going out there. We'll start in the NBA. The longest streak without a championship right now is the Sacramento Kings.
Ooh, I want to guess the rest of these.
Okay. The Kings, before they were the Sacramento Kings, were the Kansas City Kings. Before that, they were the Rochester Royals. And you have to go back to the Rochester Royals days. Since 75 years ago, the Kings won a championship. So they got the longest NBA drought. Who do you think is second in the NBA? Longest NBA drought after the Kings franchise.
I mean, I don't even remember the Hornets even.
Well, it's going to be longer than the Hornets because the Hornets haven't been around long enough.
They haven't been around long enough. What about the Blazers?
No, Blazers haven't been around that long either compared to this team.
Maybe I don't want to play this game.
Yeah, you might do better in the other sports, just not in basketball. The last championship for this team we're talking about, they were in St. Louis before they moved to Atlanta. The Hawks, 68 years since they've won, and they'd never won in Atlanta.
Wow.
Third is the Phoenix Suns, who've been in existence for 57 years and still don't have a championship. But right behind them, and we have a hand in this one, the Clippers, 55 years. Many of those were here in San Diego. So we have representation in basketball.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to football.
Well, I know the Browns haven't won in
the Browns is not on this list, believe it or not.
What about the Lions?
The Lions are 68 years for the Lions.
Are they counting the Browns as two franchises, the first Cleveland and then the second Cleveland?
I think the last Cleveland one was in 1965, so it's 61 years. They're a little shy of this list.
Man.
The Lions are 68, but there's 3 other teams. There's one team that's been longer than the Lions. It's a bad team, so it's not going to shock you entirely.
Is it the Cardinals?
It is. The Cardinals have to go back to the Arizona Cardinals, the Phoenix Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, and when their last championship, they were the Chicago Cardinals.
Wow.
78 years ago for the Cardinals. Third is the Tennessee Titans, who were before that the Houston Oilers, 64 years. And then fourth, 1963, the only championship for the Chargers. And, of course, we've had to wait most of that out. So we got football, 62 years. We got basketball that we had a pan in 55 years. Yeah, guess what? We're on the baseball list, too.
I know.
We are tied for second in the longest baseball drought, 57 years. Padres have had a franchise. They obviously haven't won it yet. The Brewers can say the same thing. They came in the same year. The Brewers actually, for 1 year, were the Seattle Pilots, but same franchise, started in 1969. So neither of them have won. But there's one franchise in baseball that beats both of them by 20 years, and that is...
Let me guess.
That is...
Well, it can't... it's a bad team?
This year, they're not in...
Pirates?
No, Pirates won in 1960 and in 1979. And in 1971, they actually won 3 there. 1979, We Are Family, Willie Stargell. The Cleveland Guardians go back to 1948, so they are 77 years. But there's no city that's represented in every one of these other than us.
That is unfortunate, Chris.
Yes, it is.
That is not great.
And that's why I'm happy for the Knicks fans. They're celebrating, they should. It's, been fun to watch. Happy for these poor, long-suffering fans in Raleigh, North Carolina, who've waited 20 years between Stanley Cups. I'm happy for who won the football this year. The
Seahawks?
A little while ago. The Seahawks, they have about a 10, 15-year span there.
They've been pretty good lately.
Yeah, pretty good. All these people have to wait. I get it. But I don't think anybody's had to wait like us.
Well, there's only one sport now
and now we only got one shot at it. Yeah, we only get the one shot at it.
Brandon says, give me a SEALs championship at this point. I just want to see a parade before I die.
Yeah, you're not going to see one for the SEALs, Brandon. I hate to tell you.
You never know. It would be a sweet parade.
I think it would be, with all due respect to our lacrosse fans out there, I think it'd be rather sparsely attended parade. Because look, the indoor soccer's won all those championships.
Yeah.
And they won many of them when that league was really kind of a big deal. It was just below, the major thing. And I don't think we ever had an actual parade for them. Maybe something was thrown together, but
that seems like a missed opportunity at this
maybe
point.
So. Yeah. Now at this point, we should have done something for Julie V and Steve Jungle and Brian Quinn and every other of the great soccers I can remember. But yeah, I get this way every year when, they get the parades, they get the celebration. They always show the fans, and the fans always go, "Oh my God, I never thought," and I'm like, cut it, Hey, yeah, you get this.
Oh, you'll be balling.
This is child's play for you people.
Chris on the 97.3 The Fan float will be balling
if the Padres win it all.
Oh yeah,
I will have a tear for sure. I said it earlier. Look, the 73 Knicks won. So did the 73 Dolphins were the last. I don't think they're going to duplicate, though, what the Knicks just did.
That would be tough.
And, that would be very tough. So, all right. Anyway, it was the games were good. The games were exciting. I did hate, and you said it, but I hated James Dolan going up and getting the trophy. And I got to believe that most New Yorkers pretty much hated that too.
Yeah, because
he represents them, and he's just hated by almost everyone.
He does everything out of personal spite,
everything for personal gain.
Yeah.
I just don't think any of his. I don't think anything that he does is really done with the fan in mind.
No, this is the guy who put together a facial recognition thing to kick out people who don't agree with him that come to his venues.
Not a fan of James Dolan in any way, shape, or form. So, but he was the owner, and he did get the trophy the other day.
I'm happy that the NBA finals were interesting to me because it was two teams that I haven't seen in a long time be in that spot. I love that the Knicks were in it. I don't really care as much about the Spurs, but I love that Wemby was in it. So I think this was a pretty successful NBA Finals.
I do too. It'd be interesting to see how Wemby is remembered. Obviously he hasn't written the full story, but the Wemby that was in this Finals, not going to be remembered all that fondly. He threw away game 2 with the terrible turnover at the end of the game and foul. He basically disappeared in the fourth quarter of every one of these games, missed free throws. He said it was a learning experience for him, and that's what he's going to have to kind of take it that way. One last thing before we send it over. What time we got till, Skrabe?
38.
Okay, we got a few more minutes. Back to the World Cup and the United States.
That was fun.
That was incredible.
And they looked like a good team.
Right? None of us expected it. And man, I started thinking as I was watching, is just Paraguay terrible? But they're not. You know what I mean? Their ranking in the world is similar to ours. But we just had it going on. And then I read the story yesterday, Ziegler in the paper, on the kid who scored all the goals for the U.S. He scored 2 and he had a third taken away.
Yep.
And what was that? Offside by an eyelash?
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing.
Offsides is offsides, man.
So hard to score a goal, and then the guy puts the flag up, and I want to.
Well, he scored the goal because he had an advantage.
By one eyelash. I thought it was.
You know,
I didn't like
offsides
it.
used to be the hardest thing for me to understand, and now I understand it.
Well, I get it too, but they also are able to show it with the computerized graphic.
Yeah.
You know, exactly them. It's really tough to call because you have to judge where the player is when the pass is made.
Yes.
Well, how can you look at two things at once?
You can't.
Right?
Can't. It's not possible.
Yeah, so I've always felt that's really hard. But the kid who scored the goals, and I'm going to apologize to you soccer fans, it's not a name that's easily pronounced for the U.S. who got those goals. But he's a Nigerian guy, or his family's Nigerian, right? Balogun. Balogun. Did you get a pronunciation on it?
I did not.
I didn't.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
didn't
happy
either.
that you're doing it.
All right, you're glad I'm trying it. But what I heard was his family was visiting, I think, New York from Nigeria or something.
Okay.
And the mom was pregnant, and they got on the plane to go back, and they wouldn't let her because she was too pregnant.
Oh.
And so they had to stay in New York. They didn't even want to.
Oh, so this is why he's playing.
And he was born in New York.
Wow.
And so that in those days, of course, everything has to be political. But in those days, automatically made you a United States citizen.
Yes.
In this day and age, that is actually up for debate now, whether they're going to allow that to continue. I'll let you politicians argue over that one.
I did not know this about this guy.
Yes, so this is we're lucky in a way to have him, but I also think he had choices of where he could play, and this is where he wanted to be. So, my goodness, the guy's going to be an American hero. He has another game or two like that.
Yes.
So
he was definitely very, very good.
Yeah, first name Folarin Balogun.
Yeah, I'm not.
If I'm way off on that, excuse me, but I probably am way off. But he was the guy that was the hero. Now, the other thing that's interesting to me, U.S. wins 4-1. Every one of the other big teams in this tournament are struggling. Netherlands, one of the favorites. I've seen a lot of people pick them. 2-2 draw with Japan. And that was the match that we talked about in the Big Five where the Japanese fans stayed around and cleaned up the stadium.
Yes.
Brazil played Monaco. Like they could mop them up. Not this time. 1-1. Earlier today, this is the stunner. This has the whole soccer world talking. But Spain was favored to win this tournament. The odds-on favorite. They still might. But they opened today against Cape Verde, which is another way of saying green cape, I believe.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
I also love their salad dressing.
Cape Verde salad. I don't know where Cape Verde is.
I think it might be. Let me look it up while you're talking.
Well, they put themselves on the map today with a scoreless draw against Spain. People cannot believe that result. And then just recently, another favorite, Belgium, had to score late to get a 1-1 draw with Egypt.
Wow, this country is just some islands off the west coast of Africa.
All right. Well, that was a shocker as far as from what I'm told from the, soccer people.
I'm trying to look for they just tied 491,000 people in 2021 as the census. So they don't have that many people to draw from.
United States next match is Friday, Australia. That one's up in Washington and Seattle. Here comes Sam Levitt, Padre pregame. We're back tomorrow at 2. Have a good day and night, everybody.